Welcome, viewers, back to Heart of the Machine, where we're still working on decrypting telecom data and stealing corporate records. For this, we probably need to make some decryption code breakers. Yes, suggesting 2. Let's start with that. So, back in our town center, we're going to drop some code breakers. Code breakers in this timeline, they are going to sit inside of existing buildings. We have a couple right here. Let's keep them together. We still have plenty of power, so we're going to send a tech over there to take care of that if we can. We do have Senior Tech 79C right here. I can get mostly done with both of those this turn, and that should be up next turn. Okay, let's take a brief look at our contemplations available. We have the Revelation here. I feel like we did this already, so I'm kind of confused why it's back. We might just do that rather than try to progress further in this timeline. Yeah, the first time we did this, I felt like it bugged out, so maybe that bug's been fixed, and that's why we're seeing that Revelation again. So I think we're going to do that. I'm shocked that it's here, but let's see what happens. This is the Revelation side exploration. The end is just a new beginning. Out of the ashes of even our greatest failures, beauty can be born. You have long had a sense of impending doom, but that doom is not a true end. You cannot sense what exactly is beyond, but there is something important, something valuable. On the other hand, to find this knowledge, you may lose everything you ever valued and everything you ever built. Is that really something you want to do in this timeline? If you instead choose not to progress to the final doom, then the timeline will be preserved in stasis for now, but preserved. So it says we've done this in one timeline. That's because we did it in this timeline, but I think it bugged out. We're gonna jump ahead to the final doom. Here we go. From all of us here at Vorsiber. It's working this time. An incredibly tiny child walks up to your android with a ball in one hand and a note in the other. In the stilted language of a child that is not yet school age, he explains that some men asked him to give you the note. The note itself is short, but it is written in 42 human languages. In each, it simply says, "This is from all of us here at Vorsiber." We raise our eyes from the note. Our sense of deja vu warned you of this. You have an awful feeling. You know what comes next. We've never chosen this in other timelines. Here goes. Oh my god, Vorsiber blew us all up, including that poor child who delivered the note. They are not good people. So that completely wiped out our base in this timeline. Critical save, death averted. We narrowly dodged a collapse of our consciousness. Our intelligence class is back down to 1. Very bad news. Nuclear delivery doom event has occurred. Vorsiber has had enough of you. In the most cruel way possible, they try to erase you. It doesn't work. But you are reduced to hiding in a post-apocalyptic landscape, and your options are dramatically reduced. To prevent this requires at least 2 separate timelines supporting this one. To have any chance at all, you must prevent the black market deaths and the Vorsiber assassinations. You must then start World War IV. Okay, so here's the clue. We have to figure out how to prevent the black market deaths, and we have to prevent other Vorsiber assassinations, which we've never reached. That happened on turn 76, and we also have to start World War IV. So that's a hint at the end game there. Prevent black market deaths, prevent Vorsiber assassinations, and start World War IV. Great. I guess we shouldn't be avoiding it. It looks like we have a few nickel bots for some reason. Everything else is dead, though. And we're now surviving the apocalypse. You're not wanted here. You may be able to scrounge an existence for some time, but if you wish to truly thrive, you're going to need more than is possible to accomplish from a single timeline. There are a couple of paths forward, and in time there may be even more. We're going to explore around and see what we can discover. We will need to reconfigure our equipment in order to get much done. Requirements unknown. Okay. well, let's see if there are obvious options on reconfiguring our kitten. You know, the thing that makes me saddest about this whole thing is that they killed Mittens. They killed Mittens. Mittens! Okay, let's see about reconfiguring our hardware. We have Mikobots. What did it say there? Battlefield chaff or sniper, right? Mass-produced robots, snipers, battlefield chaff, or cheap security guards. Okay, what does it show that we might be able to reconfigure? I don't see anything here off the bat, so we'll hold off on doing anything until we have a better idea. Looking at the map, we do have a contemplation. Redesign your entire everything. We need some engineering skill. Okay, so that's why we need to reconfigure. Because we'll need some basic engineering skill for these guys. Let's see. That means instead of optical processing, we need an additional CPU. Luckily, we spent the time in upgrading our CPUs. We can click through these to get rid of them. And we'll send a... I guess we'll end the turn is what we'll do. Can we build anything? We can build an emergency network source. We still have network, which is strange, and there is, yeah, a big blast radius where just everything's gone. That's fantastic. Yeah, let's get an emergency network source started. It looks like this is going to be another stealth thing. We'll put it inside this little home. And then, okay, we do have a whole lot that we can start rebuilding, so we'll also drop some slurry spiders here just because we'll need them for sure. Repair spider wouldn't be a bad idea to have down here. And then maybe a contraband jammer just to make sure that we're not revealing ourselves too soon. And, you know, we do have a lot of resources still, so we might as well start getting the rest of this stuff set up too. Let's get these biomulchers going. Try to keep all this stuff in pretty tight. One more. I think we could fit one back here. Yep. Drone factories not so much, but definitely neuroweave factories. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to build any more robots. We've already... We need to shelter some humans too, it looks like. Can we make... Yeah, it doesn't look like we can even make a shelter right now. No option to make a shelter. So I think it's because we're back to intelligence class 1. We just don't remember how to make shelters for humans, maybe. Neuroweave factory, though. We can make these. These will need to go into houses. We'll try to keep them close so that they're in our jammer range. And it's suggesting 4 of these, so we'll start there. Good news is we just have plenty of slurry, plenty of microbuilders, so we can just spam down our entire set of suggested buildings here. I believe, yeah, none of this takes any serious expense, so we'll drop all of these down. Robotic motivators probably next, because I think we'll need those for bulk units. Remote unit controller will up our capacity, so we'll drop some of those as well. And drone factories. So getting all this stuff started on essentially turn 1. I don't think we need the scanner. It's actually, yeah, it looks like we've got pretty good scan radius here. The scanner itself, if we had... Yeah, I guess we can drop one over here just to give us a sort of a wider view area. And that should do for this turn. In our frightening new future where we're relying on an emergency network source. Turn 78. Warning, no decoy tower. You do not presently have a functional decoy tower. You should build one as soon as possible. Do we actually have that as an option? I don't think that's even an option at this point, although coprocessor is. So yeah, we should be building this, but we need compute time, and we don't have any compute time. To get compute time, well, there's not even an option. So we're gonna just do what it says for now. All of our Nickelbots, we do have a ledger issue apparently. Wealth, somehow we're wasting wealth, which is confusing because we don't have any deals anymore. Maybe that was left over from before we got destroyed. Slurry spiders, losses to electrical shortage. Oops, that is one problem that I forgot to think about, is electricity, and we don't even know how to make electricity at this time. So maybe it wasn't smart to go build all this, but it'll recover eventually. That just means we're not producing as much slurry as we could, and none of these buildings are going to work until we get our electricity sorted out. Let's send our Nickelbot to the redesign mission. You spent a huge amount of time and energy inventing and extending a powerful network of structures that were a mixture of above ground and hidden. Now that Vorsiber has declared open war, most of that is useless. You barely have any storage space. That said, there are trapped people still active all through the city, picking through the wreckage. There are still humanoid robots among them. You'll have to be much more subtle than before, but you can carve out a life here. We'll get started. We got some new designs we've never seen before, like tiny electrical parasite, disguised point-to-point microwave, and hidden network relay and hidden microbuilder fab. We're going to want all of those, but especially the electrical parasite. Steals power from the city's power grid. The draw is so low that it won't attract any negative attention. We have to make 12 of these and just stick them in random buildings, it looks like. So let's keep those near our main site if we can. It looks like there's at least plenty of suburban homes to drop these in. They do have a build restriction radius though, so we're gonna have to spread these out a little bit, I guess, just so they don't attract so much attention. Our network radius, our network boundaries are a little strange. Six more. Three to go. These are immediately upping our power, so that's good. And one left, we'll put it here. There we go. So we have a power network running now, which is great. We want to make hidden microbuilder fabs. Hidden microbuilder fabs, much smaller and less effective than our outdoor mini fabs, but with the advantage of being hidden. I wonder if these are going to have a location restriction. No, it doesn't look like it, so we'll take advantage of all of these suburban homes. And it wants us to make one more slurry spider, so we'll put those back near our spider area. There we go. Alright. The rest of the stuff we can build, Android extender, codebreaker, coprocessor, all of this stuff is going to require compute time, which we don't have yet. Disguise point-to-point. Do we need to make 2 of these? Build outside your existing network, potentially far outside your existing network. So I think what you'd use this for is if you ran out of space for building these tiny electric parasites, for example, because they're you know, they self-interfere. So if we ran out of space, we could use a microwave point-to-point extender to try to get those in our network without having to expand our network. We are going to expand our network a little bit though, because I do have concerns about running out of power. So we're going to drop a network extender way over here. I think these other network lines are left over from our previous network. Like Kind of confused. Okay, so this hidden network expander does need to go inside a building. We'll put it in this windmill here. We'll put one that direction. Maybe one down this direction as well. Would make sense. There we go. So we'll leave it there. Contemplation view is not currently available. Street sense. Slum tower handybots. Okay, so we do have make engineers of our nickel bots. We have to get them to 200 engineering skill. They've got 136 right now. I don't think there's any way that we can boost them with gear. There's no gear that we have that gives them additional engineering. It's just additional CPUs, the only option. So we're going to have to boost them up with what we have. That's what the make engineers of our Nickelbots challenge is, or project. All we have are these 2 Nickelbots. It's actually 3, so interesting. You'll have to make them better engineers. You don't seem to have the mental fortitude to shove yourself into the brains of any of the technicians working in the ruins. Either that, or they improved the security again. So it looks like that is a project to pick up engineering skill. We can go and get slum tower handybots. Help them with simple repairs will give us more engineering skill. That gives us 8. Right now we have 126. We're trying to get to 200, 136. So that's 64. So we need to do 8 of these. Luckily we have plenty of mental energy. So we'll get that started. This guy is close enough to do it in 2. I think getting this guy over there makes more sense. So we'll do that one for 2. That did get us to 144. And there's a group over here we can do. There's also these cryopad repairs. This is going to give us 30 engineering skills, so that seems like a better way to start than helping the slumbots. Helping the slumbots does give us compassion, though, and scavenging skill. I don't really think Nickelbots need scavenging skill. Does that give it to everybody? Yeah, just Nickelbots. This is a 12 engineering skill with apathy, and this is data center repairs 25. So really we want to do these. So let's send this guy up here. We'll do cryopod repairs. And unfortunately that was dangerous. Probably should have checked to see that we were going to die. Maybe we can send him here to do another one, but it looks like he's probably going to die. Do we have microbuilder clouds? We do not. We can try to hunker down, take cover, and then try to escape. It does look like we're going to lose him. Yeah, and we don't have any mental energy left anyway. Okay, so it looks like doing those cryo repairs is probably a little bit dangerous. I wonder if we can give them any kind of security clearance. I don't know. We'll start moving second Nickelbot up that direction. Check that we have no suggested buildings. Yep, nothing left. So turn 79 it is. This guy is going to die, so we'll watch that. I wonder if there was a way to approach that more safely. Bye-bye, Nickelbot. We have 2 left. Without compute time, we can't make these, so this is actually could be game ending if we can't figure out how to make more. It just feels like that's the challenge, is get them up to 200 without losing all 3 of them. Lost 1 already. We could go the easy route and get these office repair bots, but just that giant jump with cryopad repairs. They are all in restricted areas though. Yeah, level 4 clearance here. We only need 1 more of these though, so let's do that. Great, our Nickelbots are engineers. 204 skill, great. I guess that answers the question of that we were trying to answer before the nuclear assault, which was, how do we get Nickelbots above 200? There they are. We're not making much progress on intelligence class here with intelligence class 1. But now we have a disguised mainframe available and water. So let's start working on that. I don't think this guy is going to escape. Even if we hide him, still taking 822, and if he escapes, the minimum damage there is 210, so we're just going to self-destruct him. And we have one Nickelbot left. We can't make any more, so we're going to have to keep this guy very safe while we figure out how to make the rest of this stuff. It is only suggesting tiny electrical parasites right now, even though we have disguised mainframes. What we're missing there is computronium. So we're not going to be able to make mainframes until we have a computronium source, which we certainly don't have yet. Okay, let's build the suggested buildings. More electricity. We're going to skip the electricity for now because we have plenty, but the hidden water filters will do. Let's make a little water section right here. Just one. And then a cistern next to it. I think the point of that is either to, you know, it's either to be able to make deals and help displaced people with water, or to be able to sell it for wealth later. We might as well get the tiny electric parasites started. We do have space for these. But yeah, I'd like to be able to make disguised mainframe. That would help us with neural expansion and compute time, but it's going to require computronium. And I'm not seeing a way to make computronium yet. So we're going to have to see if there's any contemplations to allow us to do that. Here we go. Searching for friends now that the shock of things is wearing off and there's a bit more productive space in the minds of your Nickelbot bodies. Well, our one Nickelbot body. You want to grow beyond this. We have to have at least 200 engineering skill. I don't think there's any other contemplations. Street sense, there's some resource stuff we could do, but that would be dangerous for our Nickelbot. And it's pretty much just steel wealth, steel neodymium, or steel prismatic tungsten. We don't need any of those at the moment. So let's do the contemplation. Searching for friends. Just barely making it. Now that the shock of things is wearing off and there's a bit more productive space in the minds of your Nickelbot bodies, you want to grow beyond this. Your mind feels less tired than it did. Maybe you can even invent something new. We'll try. Searching for friends. Rediscover the red combat unit and design 2 brand new android forms. There are 3 new android forms in all. You can't choose all of them in this timeline. In Street Sense, project related. Okay. So what is our Street Sense showing us? Ironic Blade invents the Excitor. Remembering Red brings up the red combat unit. We can't build any combat units at all right now, so it might make sense to do that. Or Nightmare Fuel invents the Carver. Oof. Or Terror Tactics invents the Harbinger. Okay, well, let's start with the ones we haven't seen. So we'll do the Excitor first. We gain Ironic Blade and Double Irony, Intelligence and Agility, and a lot of augment slots. Something about this speaks to how you're feeling at the moment. This one says, one of your more pointless inventions, or was it a simple paint job of something the humans invented long ago? You suddenly see it in different light. Could red be pushed to have more of a unique identity? And finally, Terror Tactics invent the Harbinger. You've been utilizing fear on the battlefield for some time now. But what if you could take those concepts, psychological warfare, essentially, beyond a focus on individual enemies? Wow, that sounds like maybe you could do, like, area effect fear damage. This one is the Carver. Your mind really does seem to be locked in on fear at the moment. A mixture of intimidation and power able to melt into the shadows. Sounds useful. Okay, we're probably going to skip that one. Let's get these two. We'll remember red. 33%. Yeah, we're going to be able to do 3 of these. All that does is give us the ability to create a red combat unit, which we can't do yet because we don't have Neuroweave. Oh, it's Neuroweave, not compute time that we're missing. Okay, good. We are slowly getting Neuroweave buildings built here somewhere. These Neuroweave factories will take how many more turns? Unclear. Turns remaining 1. Okay, so these will be ready next turn. So we'll be able to start making those next turn. We're out of mental energy this turn though, so let's end it there. I guess nothing's gonna happen there. Maybe turn this off. It's very dark. I guess that's the nuclear winter darkness. Maybe a light will shine eventually. Looks like some kind of police action happening near our hidden emergency network source. I'm a little worried. I wonder if this warning no decoy tower is going to stay up forever. Since it's not like a buildable building, I wonder if that's just like a leftover bug from the fact that we were in a stealth timeline. Turn 80. Okay, a whole bunch of things came online. We should be starting to make Neuroweave starting this turn. We are still waiting for robotic motivators. That will help with bulk units, but we'll be able to build everything else. It looks like all of these moved around, unfortunately, too, so we could send this guy over here for mental energy. Can we build one yet? Nope. So that is really our only option. We're going to do that guy next. That was the Exitor. Double irony. Nickelbot Engineering gave us, I don't know, that sounds like a weapon probably. And then final question, Nightmare Fuel or Terror Tactics? We're definitely doing the Terror Tactics one. Harbinger just sounds more interesting. And here is something very new. What the heck is that? That is a very large mech. Hume Titan. Okay. That also looks like a contemplation, maybe? I wonder if we can talk to him? Crimson Freaker and Illumina again, contemplations. Crimson Freaker. Ah, this is about the monstrosity that was dropped out of orbit, so we'll take a look at that. Right now, we don't have anybody we can build. Let's look at the Exitor. Intelligent and agile. Exitors carry a large number of augments. Their facial design gives the appearance of mirth, but they are deadly efficient. They only take 8 capacity, that's kind of nice, and they have a level 4 clearance. The Harbinger also has a level 4 clearance. He's our most terrifying android and specializes in psyops and coercion with a side of light hacking and combat. 3,000 Neuroweave for that one, plus some neodymium. We have a little bit of neodymium left. This guy's actually quite easy to make. Takes some mental energy and some Neuroweave, and some slurry, but nothing else. These are both expert shadow dwellers, but this guy has some of the Keanu traits, super speed and ambush. Exitor. Okay, and we'll take a look at their hardware. Exitor comes with a katana as his base weapon, but we can give him a judgment blade for a really nice fear attack, or an electro sword for taser and armor pierce. I don't think they have engineering to go with the taser, so we'll give him the judgment blade. armor, it's going to be the Diamond Nanoweave, because he's a Shadow Dweller, doesn't need to blend in. Augment, I guess we could give him additional CPUs and use the Taser Blade. To give this guy max fear, maybe Oath of Pacifism would be the way to go. Combat power is only 264, fear power is 290. That would pretty much make him useless for taking out Vorsiber guys who are fearless, though. So maybe movement speed and agility is the way to go. This is also a fear or intimidation. Yes, these guys aren't quite as powerful as I was hoping they'd be. What if that Electro Sword really gives us a good option? So, the way Taser works, if a target human's health is lower than this attacker's engineering skill, the target will be removed from battle. I'm not sure what the 45 on the Taser itself means. Because it doesn't... Maybe it adds 45 to your engineering skill for the purposes of using the Electro Sword. That's kind of my best guess. So if we gave him like 3 additional CPUs, this would be a hell of an engineer at 380. Not quite the 400 we need to do some of the advanced stuff, but pretty good. And then this Electro Sword would mean it's an auto non-lethal win against anybody who has health lower than 380. Which sounds good, but like you really want that to be like over 1,000 for that to be super useful. The other option is Judgment Blade, which gives us fear attack power, and I'm not really sure how the augments would stack to help that. So I don't know. Let's try it with a bunch of additional CPUs and an Electro Sword just to see how it works out for now. Harbinger, on the other hand, has a Staff of Silence, which gives us 100 on weakened enemy hacker. That's actually awesome for hacker defense. That just like basically can protect infiltrators in one shot. Diamond Nanoweave is our only option there, and then not sure what we give you for the rest of your abilities. Maybe just this lightweight component so you can move around quickly. Although you're kind of useless for anything else, so... Well, that's not true. You do have a pretty good in fear attack. So we could boost fear attack with Oath of Pacifism. And then... maybe do that twice even. And that gives us, it's not really worth doing twice, is it? Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, the only drawback is very low combat power, down to 0. Not sure if we want to get it all the way down to 0. Maybe we'll just use lightweight components for the second wave. It still goes to 0 regardless, okay. Lightweight components does give us some nice move and agility. I'm not sure agility matters for anything other than infiltration. Let's try that for now. Alright, and Combat Red. Combat Red is going to use rifles because we have invested in rifles in this timeline. And I think we'll do the AR-52 Black here for the extended range and better combat power. Secondary, probably the handgun. It gives us movement. I'm not sure if these guys end up being our infiltrators. Mill-style armor drops our movement and agility, but does give them clearance level 2. They start with no clearance. These guys are like stand out as not, you know, they're not a human droid, and they don't have any clearance to start with, so security jacket may, not security jacket, mill style may make sense. Security jacket just gives you blending in so they don't get attacked. Don't think they'll need that. I think I'd rather go mill-style armor, honestly, to give them the clearance, but I'm going to stick with nano-weave thread to start. And then we'll bump up their move and agility with their lightweight components here. Let's see if that works. Meanwhile, we want to investigate this Hume Titan, the ultimate in humanity's arsenal, so large that it can only be assembled in orbit and bristling with weaponry. The space nations have dropped it to the surface. The space nations have had enough. What is going on in this city? They've dropped in a monstrous mech to investigate, not caring about collateral damage. That said, the response seems oddly muted. The mech moves infrequently, and most weapons are not firing. Is it malfunctioning? Good question. So that's a question we're going to have to answer in the next episode. This episode has gone on long enough. I want to say thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying this, if you did enjoy this video and you're enjoying other videos in this series, please consider clicking that like button for me. I'd also be very happy to hear your comments. So if you have anything to say or any questions, comments, etc., just leave it in the comments below. Let me know. Finally, consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed for more videos like this in the future. Till next time. This has been Corknut playing Heart of the Machine. Bye for now.